Dublin in the 1700s was a city of sudden grandeur and constant strain. By the early 18th century, it was one of the largest cities in the British Isles, with a population approaching 150,000. It was a capital city without a parliament after 1800, a Georgian showpiece built beside deep poverty, smoke, and noise. In this video, I use modern AI tools to bring historic paintings, engravings, and prints to life, allowing us to shift perspective, change camera angles, and move through the same scenes in ways their original artists never could. We are not just looking at Dublin as it was painted. We are stepping into it. First, I want to talk about the river that shaped everything. This view shows the River Liffey in the early 1700s, cutting Dublin cleanly in two. The camera looks east toward the sea. The water is brown and busy, crowded with barges, ferries, and small trading vessels. In the foreground, wooden quays are stacked with barrels of grain, coal, and wine. Men shout over the water. Horses strain against carts. The air smells of salt, mud, and rotting refuse. By the 1700s, the Liffey was both lifeline and hazard. It powered trade, supplied food, and carried goods from the countryside into the city. But it also flooded regularly, washing filth back into the streets. The river mattered because it made Dublin rich. Customs revenue poured in. Merchants grew powerful. The city expanded eastward. Later in the century, the quays would be rebuilt in stone, straightened and formalized. Today, this same river still defines Dublin's heart, crossed by bridges that follow these early paths. This view shows Dublin Castle in the early 18th century, still a medieval fortress at its core. Thick stone walls dominate the midground. Towers cast long shadows across the courtyard. Inside, officials move briskly. Soldiers stand watch. Messengers arrive on horseback. This is the seat of British administration in Ireland, long before independence. By the 1700s, real power in Ireland flowed through this complex. Decisions on taxation, land, and law were made here, often far removed from the lives of ordinary Dubliners. Tension was constant. The memory of the Williamite War, ending in 1691, was still fresh. Catholic citizens lived under penal laws that restricted education, land ownership, and political power. The castle mattered because it symbolized control. It was an authority made visible in stone. Later, much of the medieval structure would be rebuilt into Georgian government buildings. Today, Dublin Castle remains, layered with centuries of rule and resistance. This view shows Christ Church Cathedral, rising above tight medieval streets. Its stone walls loom over rooftops, chimneys, and hanging laundry. By the early 1700s, the cathedral was both a place of worship and a landmark of dominance. Church bells echo through the city, marking time, funerals, and festivals. In the streets below, vendors sell bread and fish. Children run between carts. The smell of smoke mixes with incense drifting from open doors. Religion in Dublin was deeply political. The Anglican Church of Ireland held power, while the Catholic majority worshipped quietly, often in hidden chapels. Christ Church mattered because it represented the official faith of the state. It was a reminder of who ruled and who did not. Later restorations in the 19th century would dramatically reshape its appearance. Remarkably, this is a site you can still visit today, standing on the same ground as these scenes. This view shows St. Patrick's Cathedral on the edge of the old city, surrounded by open fields and workshops. The skyline here feels lower, wider, less crowded. By the 1700s, this area, known as the Liberties, was filled with weavers, brewers, and tanners. Water channels run through yards. Hammers strike leather. Ale flows freely. The cathedral stands apart, dignified and calm. Jonathan Swift became its dean in 1713, walking these streets daily, observing the city's poverty and pride. Life here was noisy and rough. Disease spreads easily. Cholera would later strike hard in these districts. This place mattered because it showed the working city. Not the polished squares, but the labor that sustained them. Today, St. Patrick's still rises above a changed neighborhood, its presence unchanged despite the centuries. This view shows one of Dublin's early bridges, before many were rebuilt in stone. The structure creaks under traffic. Timber beams strain above the flowing river. Carts cross slowly, Pedestrians cluster at their edges. Some bridges even held houses and shops, narrowing the passage further. By the 1700s, these crossings were dangerous. Fires spread easily. Collapses were feared during floods. Bridges mattered because they connected North and South Dublin. They controlled movement, trade, and access. Later in the century, engineers replaced them with wider stone bridges, like Essex Bridge, now Grattan Bridge. Today, the river crossings still follow these historic points. This view shows College Green in the mid-1700s, dominated by the Irish Parliament House, completed in 1739. Its grand facade faces an open square filled with carriages. Well-dressed men arrive for debates. Servants wait nearby. This is political theater, performed in public view. By this time, the Irish Parliament had limited power, but enormous symbolic weight. It represented Protestant self-rule within the British system. Outside, crowds gather. News spreads quickly. Tension rises during moments like the legislative independence movement of the 1780s. This building mattered because it embodied Irish political ambition. In 1801, it would lose its role after the Act of Union. Today it survives as the Bank of Ireland, its political past still visible in stone. This view shows a newly built Georgian street in the late 1700s. Red brick houses line a wide, clean road. The doors are brightly colored. By this century, the Wide Streets Commission, founded in 1757, reshaped Dublin. Medieval lanes were cleared. Order replaced chaos. In these streets, the elite lived comfortably. Inside, fireplaces burned. Servants moved quietly. Outside, carriages rolled past. Yet danger remained. Fire was a constant threat. Class division was sharp, just streets away from deep poverty. These streets mattered because they transformed Dublin into a fashionable capital. They announced confidence and control. Today, many of these Georgian streets survive, defining Dublin's visual identity. This view shows a crowded street market near the quays. Stalls spill into the road. Fish glistens on wooden tables. Women bargain loudly. Sellers shout prices. The smell is intense: salt, blood, smoke, and waste. By the 1700s, markets were essential to survival. There was no refrigeration. Food had to move fast. Crime was common. Pickpockets worked the crowds. City watchmen struggled to keep order. These markets mattered because they fed the city. Without them, Dublin would stop. Today, street trading continues in different forms, echoing this constant motion. This view shows Dublin Bay, with ships anchored offshore. Masts fill the skyline. Sails snap in the wind. By the mid-1700s, Dublin was deeply connected to the Atlantic world. Trade linked it to Britain, Europe, and the American colonies. Goods flowed out. Ideas flowed in. So did risk, war, blockades, and economic shock. The port mattered because it tied Dublin to the empire. Its fortunes rose and fell with global events. Today, the modern port still occupies this coastline, shaped by the same geography. This view shows the city as evening falls. Smoke hangs low. Lamps flicker to life. Church bells fade. Taverns grow loud. The river reflects firelight and moonlight together. By the end of the 1700s, Dublin stood at a turning point. In 1801, its parliament would be gone. Power would shift. Yet the streets, the river, and the buildings remained. Layer upon layer of history pressed into stone. Using AI to move through these images, the past feels closer. Not distant or silent, but crowded, noisy, and alive. If there's another city, moment, or scene you'd like to see brought back this way, let me know in the comments. Again, thank you so much.